We're the home of the Florida Gators in the city of Jacksonville, and there are a lot of Gator fans out there listening to XL Primetime. It's a pleasure to say hello to Coach Billy Napier of the Florida Gators. Coach, welcome into XL Primetime. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. I appreciate you all covering the Florida Gators.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of excited Gator fans up here, so let's just start with kind of a couple of general questions to you. How has it been in the job? This is an enormous job for a lot of fans out there in the college football world. How has it been for you since you took over?
It's been incredible. I think obviously we've got a lot of work to do, and certainly a little bit different dynamic this year in terms of transition with the transfer portal, with name, image, and likeness. A couple new variables, but I've been very impressed with Gainesville, Florida, very impressed with the University of Florida, the UAA. We've got incredible resources here. We've got history. We have tradition. We have a tremendous product to sell. I think just been trying to keep my chin above the water for a while, truth be known. But, yesterday, driving into work, started to feel a little normalcy. I think having an opportunity to be around the players each day here in Phase 2 has really helped. But so far, so good.
Coach, Joe brought up the idea of excitement. Do you sense the excitement? Because I got to tell you, Gator fans that I talk to are very excited about what they've seen from you, the staff you've put together here in the first 2 months.
Yeah, there's no question. I think we've got some challenges. I think I like to tell the players and the staff, each team across the country has kind of its own set of problems right now that they've got to solve. They've got the things that they're dealing with. We've got a long list of things to correct, things to improve upon. But I've been very pleased. I think we've hired well. Very thankful for our administration. We've got really good leadership here with Dr. Fox and our athletic director, Scott Strickland. They provided the resources. We've been able to hire an exceptional crew, really an all-star team. I think you hire good people, you empower them to do their job, and, you try to get out of the way, let them do their thing, and very pleased with all the people we've hired so far.
Head coach Billy Napier of the Florida Gators on 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Joe C. and Hack. You will hear the Florida Gators on 1010XL. Go back to that comment, Coach, where you said a long list of things to fix. Zero in on maybe the top two things you felt like you absolutely needed to have or change.
Well, I feel like we need to improve the player experience. I felt like there was a lot of areas where we could just improve the day-to-day life of the players on our team. I think obviously a big part of our culture here and what we're trying to create is a development component, right? I think we're trying to maximize each one of these players as people, as students, and as football players. So, the strength and conditioning component, the sports science and performance, the athletic training room, the nutrition, kind of that four-person team. We were fortunate to go out and hire some of the very best in the entire country in those areas. Simple things that I think make a difference. You're really trying to establish trust with the players. You're trying to build really good communication with the players. So when they see that you have a plan, when they see that you have an authentic care for them, I think that helps. But much like any transition, you got to get familiar with the place. You got to get familiar with, some of these relationships are going to be important. And we're in the process of doing that. But it's a great place and a very capable place.
Coach, it's obvious when we watch on social media, you visiting the high schools all around the state of Florida. We've seen you here in Jacksonville visiting with high school coaches. You are a bulldog on the recruiting trail. That seems to be something you love, something you embrace, and Gator fans love that about you. Just talk, if you will, to Gator fans, the emphasis you have put on recruiting, on having a staff that recruits, because obviously recruiting is the lifeblood of any college football program.
Yeah, no question. I think this is a talent acquisition business, right? There's no question that starts with the players. I think it's important that you kind of separate the evaluation and recruitment part of your organization and the development and the motivation part of your organization, right? So we have that here. We have a really qualified personnel department, not only high school personnel, but also college personnel. And then we have kind of this recruiting strategy, on-campus recruiting component, which is into the event planning, unofficial, official visits, really working on our marketing, our pitch, how we sell Florida. So the combination of the evaluation and recruitment part, that's where the process begins, right? And I think, to me, I really love that part of the job. I think it's where you can create some advantages for yourself. My dad was a high school coach, right? So he didn't get to recruit his team, right? So he had to coach what was in the community. And I think I learned pretty on in my career, hey, you know what, this putting together your own roster is a pretty fun deal, So I think our ability to evaluate height, length, speed, competitive character, I think all these things are really, really important, and they affect the end product. Now, once that young man arrives on campus, then we change gears and, we're into the intangibles, and we're really trying to get the most out of each person, each student, each football player. But we're going to take an inside-out approach here. We do a ton of research about player production, about the makeup of the roster. When the University of Florida won national championships, when they won SEC championships, anywhere from 65 to 80% of the roster was made up of players within 4.5 hours of Gainesville, Florida, right? So we're going to take that approach, and certainly you guys being in Jacksonville, Florida, Jacksonville's been good to the Gators over the years. So it's an important, part of the state, certainly an hour and a half away, and we need to do a really good job and be thorough and establish great relationships there.
Yeah, we've already heard, Coach, high school coaches here are probably a little more impressed with doors being opened by you compared to maybe Gator coaches in the past. We got a couple more minutes with Coach Billy Napier of the Florida Gators on 1010XL, and they're going through a coaching rehire here, and they've got Trevor Lawrence already in the building. They know how valuable he is. What about Anthony Richardson for you at the quarterback position? What have you seen? What do you like, and what would you like to see improved?
Yeah, no, I think we have a really strong quarterback room. We've got 5 players here on campus, that I think have abilities. There's no question that we're fortunate that Anthony has had really good experience, and certainly has made some wild plays, right? Some very impressive plays. And, Emory has played really good football at times as well. Both are young players. Both have had ups and downs. I think a little bit of the quarterback position oftentimes will say, you're dependent on the players around you, right? I think that's glaring across every level of football. So sometimes the quarterback will get too much credit. Sometimes he gets too much blame. So I think that much like every position on our team, we're in the transition. We're learning the new system. We're getting to know the players, not only their skill sets and how they process information, but who they are as people. But the quarterback room's in really good shape at Florida. We're excited about Anthony Emory. We added Jack Miller, Carlos Del Rio, and Kittner are 2 young players that we're getting to know more. And then we added an additional player on signing day. So I'm confident that we can get that room to play winning football. And we're in the process of establishing those things and what that looks like for us and how we operate.
Coach, you've been there 2.5 months. And if you look at what you've done in the 2.5 months, you've hired what looks to be a great staff. You put together a pretty good recruiting class, all things considering. My goodness, from when you got there to where it ended, I think you rose like 60-something spots at the rankings. But at the end of the day, you're a football coach. You want to coach ball. How anxious are you for the spring to get here to be able to get out on the grass and coach these guys?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I think what you're describing there is exactly right. I think that's why the last, few days have been a little more settled me down a little bit because we've had a chance to start phase 2. We're in the middle of the identity program. Today's actually the 4th day of that. And each day for about an hour, we get a chance to be around the players. It's general conditioning right now, and we'll start creating momentum towards spring practice, introducing some football stuff. We're meeting with the players 4 days a week. We have a position meeting. So I think that we're starting that process now, and that's really, for me, now that we've got our hands on the players, it kind of settles you down a little bit. You start to realize, hey, we're not too far off here.
Now, I got to ask you about the ball coach, SOS. Billy Napier, what has your relationship been like early on meeting Steven Spurrier?
Well, I'm a little starstruck at times. Heck, man, when I was young, my dad was a high school coach. We used to tune in and watch the Gators on Saturday afternoon many days, so always had a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Spurrier. I mean, if you just go through the list of accomplishments, relative to as a player, as an assistant coach, and certainly as a head coach, I mean, this guy is one of the, he's one of the icons in the profession, right? In terms of his impact on the game, his kind of a visionary on offense. So we're fortunate, he's made the University of Florida a better place, and he's still impacting this place in a positive way. It's been great for me to be around him, to be able to ask him questions. He's been a resource in recruiting, just very impressive, and certainly, an honor to coach at a place where he coached and went to school, and played. So, I think it's unique in the chance that we get a chance to be around him, and we look forward to doing it more.
Wrapping things up here with head coach Billy Napier of the Florida Gators. All right, Coach, we air the games here in Jacksonville on 1010XL. There are a lot of Gator fans here in the Northeast Florida area. What's your message to Gator Nation as we are in phase 2, spring ball around the corner? What do you want Gator fans to know about what you and your staff are doing down there in Gainesville?
Well, I think it's important that they know that, they're part of the team, and the words they speak, the energy that they bring, their ability to affect our performance, to be positive, to be encouraging, to understand that you got a group of people here, players and staff, the entire organization that is working each day to improve. I think we take seriously the opportunity to represent them, the former players, the alumni network that we have, all the people that, represent Florida, right? And I think it's important for them to know that we take pride in that. We're working hard to do that the right way. So, we got to channel all this energy we have into things that will help us get better, and we all want to win, when we're kicking off that opener, but what are we doing each day between now and then to position ourselves to have success? So I think we got to get consumed with the work. We don't need to be talking about what we're going to do. We need to be talking about what we're doing today and how we're going to do it. So we got a lot of work to do, and we're in the middle of that work as we speak.
Yahtzee on that, Coach. All right, so as we say goodbye, are you loosening up your arm? Okay, because not only are you a football coach, you got to throw out the first pitch tomorrow night. Have you warmed up?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you now, this is a challenge. I did it at 4 years ago at Louisiana. I got in that bullpen. I was throwing it around a little bit, and I was, it's hard to locate that thing. So, but no, I think I'll be ready to go. I'm going to have my two boys. The softball game earlier, Annie Joe's going to join me out there, and then Sammy and Charlie are going to join me at the baseball game. So maybe they can help me out. I'll need some coaching for sure. I know Sully's been trying to give me a few tips around the facility here, but we look forward to it, and we'll see you there.
All right, listen, Coach, best of luck. We hope to visit with you again. Jacksonville welcomes you, and they're excited.
All right, guys. Thank you all, and we'll see you around.
Appreciate it.